Okay, Salam Malaysia Madani to Yang Mulia Datuk Dr. Tengku Muhammad Azman Sharifuddin FASC, President of the Academy of Science Malaysia and STI Advisor to the Prime Minister and the Nation. Puan Nitya Samuel, Chief Strategy Officer representing Puan Azami Habib, CEO of ASM. Associate Professor TS Dr. Nur Fadlina Muhammad Sharif, Chairperson of the Young Scientist Network ASM, YSN-ASM. Professor Dr. Nur Hadiani Ismail FASC, Chief Judge of Chrysalis Award Final Pitch. Distinguished panel of judges of the Chrysalis Award Final Pitch, Chrysalis Award 2023 finalists, and fellow scientists and ladies and gentlemen. My name is Tiger, so you can call me Tiger. So I'm not going to hear raw, I'm just going to hear to moderate you, okay? So as we gather here to celebrate the exceptional achievement in the realm of science and leadership, so it's imperative that we understand the true significance of YSN-ASM Chrysalis Award. So please join me in extending a warm welcome to Dr. Q Sina, Chair of Science Leadership Working Group, to enlighten us about the profound impact and essence of esteemed YSN-ASM Chrysalis Award, as well as introduce us the Chrysalis Finalists 2023. So Dr. Q Sina.
Hello. Hi, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Sina. Let me briefly introduce about the Chrysalis Award and our finalists. The YSN-ASM Chrysalis Award stands as the flagship leadership initiative of YSN-ASM. So the term Chrysalis refers to the transitional stage of life when undergoing a transformation between immature and mature stages, in analogy to the process that postgraduate students as pupils undergo that culminates in successful graduation as competent researchers become butterfly. So we had our first program in 2020, and this is the 4th year event. Our mission is to identify and nurture promising and holistic PhD graduate and candidates, and then we're grooming them to become our future pillars of our science, technology, innovation, and economic ecosystem. So to this end, the 2023 YSN-ASM Chrysalis Awards were designed with 3 key objectives. The first is to identify and recognize the talents of promising future researchers in Malaysia. Second, to develop and nurture these future researchers to fulfill their potential. Third, to empower these future researchers in alignment with the science, technology, innovation, and economic outlook of Malaysia. This year-long program began at the beginning of this year, 2023, and has resulted in the selection of 15 finalists for the YSN-ASM Chrysalis Award from a group of highly qualified candidates. So these 15 finalists underwent a series of virtual and physical workshops and training, totally 10, to refine their skill and foster their potential. And this comprehensive training ensures that these individuals emerge as outstanding researchers poised to make meaningful contribution to Malaysia's STIE ecosystem. So after the workshop and training session from May to September this year, they work in a group to develop impactful multidisciplinary project ideas and pitch their innovation and innovative concept by today. So in recognition of their exceptional abilities, we will award over 10,000 ringgit Malaysia in total cash prizes. These prizes will be distributed among the top 3 winners, recognizing their professional development. Additionally, recognition will be given to the best present research team for their innovative and impactful research idea, the best presenter and best poster, acknowledging their ability to effectively communicate their project ideas to the public. On behalf of the Science Leadership Working Group, I would like to express our heartfelt gratitude to MOSTI, ASM, YSN-ASM, our collaborators from academic and industrial, and other working groups, as well as all committees, mentors, judges, and everyone involved in this program for your endless support and contribution. Especially, I would like to thank you to our co-chair, Dr. Vicky, our head of working group team, Dr. Tiger, our head of evaluation team, Dr. Sokwon, our head of pitching team, Dr. Syukit, our Head of Young Leadership Program, Dr. Sam, our Head of Media and Communication Team, Dr. Anna Hazika, our Head of Survey Team, Dr. Shukanti and their members, as well as ASM, Wan Hazami, Puan Nitya, Dr. Sheryl Hamiza, and Nisa, and all of you. Thank you so much. Your trust and effort have played an important role in the success of this initiative, and for that I'm sincerely thankful and grateful. Thank you so much. So without wasting the time, so let me invite all of you to watch our finalists' introduction slide to know about our top 15 finalists. So please enjoy the slide, and thank you so much again.
Okay, thanks for the brief introduction, Dr. Kusina. So, ladies and gentlemen, the ceremony will be continued with a great pleasure by inviting and welcoming President of Academy of Science Malaysia, ASM, Datuk Dr. Tengku Muhammad Azman Sharifuddin, to deliver the opening remark. Doctor.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum. Selamat petang. Salam sejahtera dan salam madani. Terima kasih saudara pengurusi majlis, ahli-ahli jawatan kuasa, ahli-ahli yang Scientific Network, saudara-saudari sekalian. Selamat datang ke majlis ini untuk menyaksikan pitching bagi 5 kumpulan yang kita nampak tadi. Dan saya juga ingin mengucapkan tahniah kepada YSN. Saya difahamkan Chrysalis Award ni telah dimulakan sudah tiga kali, diuruskan 3 kali. Dan saya nampak bahawa penyertaan tu sangat berbeza daripada yang lain. Saya nampak cross discipline, cross even between natural sciences and social sciences, which is a very good sign of the future. Terlebih dahulu saya nak sebutkan bahawa ASM sangat berharap bahawa barisan baru ni YSN ni akan menerokai masa depan kita dengan mempelajari bidang-bidang sains yang emerging, yang lebih penting, dan pertama kali mereka boleh menyaksikan satu penggunaan sains yang lebih seimbang dan integrasi. Oleh kerana apa yang saya akan sebutkan kemudian ini, masa hadapan kita hanya dapat terjamin sekiranya kita dapat mengintegrasikan ilmu dan maklumat. Let me continue by the salutation list was promised to me, but it was not here. So I do not know who they are, who are here. But I would like to thank our judging panel for being here, because we depend on you to make a fair assessment, fair and just assessment of who the best teams are in this competition. Although we have a competitive spirit, we should also have a collaborative and cooperative spirit. And I want to say something about that in 4 parts. The first part I'm going to speak about is why innovate. Secondly, what are the challenges that we face in innovation? Thirdly, what is the new way of doing it? And finally, what are the takeaway messages? I've given a title to my talk. It's going to be a short one, don't worry, it's not going to be 1 hour, not a 1 hour lecture. But I want to give a talk so that we focus our minds on this subject, which is innovation for societal well-being. So let me start by asking the question, why innovate, and giving an answer. Innovation is important because we are all practitioners of knowledge development. When we do research, we generate new knowledge. And from new knowledge, we can create new value. And from new value, we can actually create meaning and purpose to what we are doing. So that's how I think, my mental model of what knowledge actually does to us. In doing that, we produce not just outputs, we produce outcomes and impacts. When we speak about outputs, we are all familiar. In fact, all university professors are very familiar with this because it's part of your KPI. You are asked to publish or you perish. I am not a believer of that, by the way. I don't believe in publications as a measure of excellence or goodness. I believe in producing outcomes and impacts from the knowledge that we have. So I can say more later. This evening we'll have another shot at giving you a speech. But let me give a brief version of this for now. If you want to produce outcomes and impacts, we must focus on, first, for the people. In other words, it is societal good. Secondly, we must produce value for the planet. Already, what we know as science has produced outcomes and impacts that are not sustainable. We are producing a world where human life may not be suitable for. Right? Okay, so for people and planet, to me, are purposes and meanings. So what are the challenges that we face? The main challenge that we face is actually the problem of knowledge itself. Not knowledge as such, but our attitudes and mindsets towards that knowledge. What do we mean? We mean that we should, as scientists, recognize that this not only natural science that's important, but other kinds of knowledge. Sometimes you want to call these people human scientists. So human scientists and natural scientists ought to work together. But even when we say human scientists, we miss out the artists, the creative people, the people who design things, using not empirical knowledge, but using their feeling, what is in their minds, connected with their hearts. Scientists have a very strange biology where the hearts are not connected to the minds. Right? So sorry to say, scientists have taken out the heart from their equation. In your formula, there is no heart. There's only brain, head. Right? This is the problem that we have. On the other hand, if we want to be more balanced, scientists need to be more humble. At the moment, I have to say scientists are rather arrogant people. To many scientists, only their science is important. Other sciences are not important. So they built a knowledge system which only admits to expertise, to experience, and to applications that only they can produce. So this is actually a very limited view of knowledge. Okay. So what is driving all this? What is driving the fact that we need to be more humble as scientists? It is what the Prime Minister has been quoting recently, post-normal times. If you were to read the budget speech, he begins with a statement on post-normal times. What is post-normal? I was very excited when he first used the term in a speech about 2 months ago when launching the Malaysian commercialization year. And he said so at the beginning of the speech. I'm not using the text prepared for me. I'm going to speak off the cuff. And he launched into post-normal times, describing how the world will change and how science can benefit from that change through normal science, through post-normal science. So I have some familiarity with the subject, so I want to introduce that to you, and because you may not have heard of it. When I gave my presidential speech the other day to welcome the new fellows, I said similar things, but I will summarize for the friends who are here today. When we speak about post-normal times, it is characterized by 3 C's. The first C is complexity. We are not living in a world of very simple relationships anymore. It's a very complex world. It is also accompanied by the second C, chaos. We are living in a chaotic world. You can see that around you. And the third one is contradictions. Everything that is being said can be contradicted, sometimes with evidence, sometimes with falsehood. So you have anti-science people, anti-truth people who cannot be fact-checked because whatever fact-check you do, the dear truth has gone into the public domain and influenced social media. So this is the nature of post-normal times. If we accept that truth, we also have to accept another truth, that the post-normal times requires post-normal science. So normal science is characterized by a few things. I just to mention very briefly. It is fundamentally rationalistic. We see nature as rationalistic. Our own projection, what's in the mind, you apply that to nature. And because of that worldview, normal science says nature is materialism. Nature is empirical, so empiricism. And nature is deterministic, and therefore determinism. When you put ISM at the end, it becomes an ideological position, a philosophical position. So, to repeat, we cannot view nature from rationalistic eyes. If you do that, we believe in rationalism. We also believe in empiricism, determinism, and of course, we believe in materialism. So post-normal times and post-normal science, we require a different kind of knowledge system. That knowledge system must integrate different kinds of knowledge which have equal status. So those ladies who are sitting at my table who are not natural scientists, you are sitting at the same table with equal value to the natural scientists. And don't be afraid that the natural scientists will see you as a sort of inferior guy. This is what was said just a few days ago when we were in Kuching. We had an event to speak about indigenous knowledge. And we had a professor from UNIMAS, some of you may know her, Professor Pauline Bala, who is a Klabit. Klabit is from the Highlands, a small community from the Highlands. And she's a sociologist. And she said so. When I'm dealing with the natural scientists, they make me feel small. They are superior to me. I feel marginalized. So, who's superior here? The people who destroy the earth or the people who are trying to protect the indigenous tribes? I believe people who are protecting the indigenous people are superior, not the people who are destroying the earth. All right? So, let's move on. So when we say we are going to build a different kind of knowledge, we are trying to say to all of you, when you apply it, like you are doing this afternoon, innovate, apply knowledge, scientific knowledge for innovation, you cannot fall into the trap of producing solutions which are technology-centric. And we can spot that immediately. If you give a technology-centric solution, you have forgotten, first of all, the people who are going to use it. Secondly, you have forgotten that your solution must also be friendly to nature and the environment. So what do all these things mean? So technology-centric solutions are now no. In bahasa Melayu, haram. Tak boleh pakai dah. Apa yang halal sekarang ini? Human-centric. Human-centric solutions are those that are friendly, mesra dengan manusia yang nak pakai tu. Keduanya, we must have humanity-centric solutions. Solutions that are not only good for the users, is good for nature as well. So I hope when we say all these things, it is not just falling on deaf ears lah. Kita ni dengar tapi buka. Dengar sini, keluar sini. Cikgu kata dulu. Dengar sini, keluar ke kiri ni. Dengar sahaja tapi tak disematkan dalam hati. What we want to happen is that when you see this, you hear this, you begin to change your mental models. More than mental models, you change your worldview. These are words you may not have heard of, but I want to introduce to you. This idea of worldview is very important. It is how you see the world, not just how it works. What is the world? What are the important parts of the world? How do they connect together? Anyway, in German, those who know German, worldview is called Weltanschauung. Right? So it has the same meaning. Because this word Weltanschauung was used by a famous sociologist who invented sociology in the Western world. It's called Max Weber. Anyway, back to the question of what is it that we want you to do? So the takeaway messages now, very simple. The young scientists are the future. ASM has been fortunate and privileged to be able to create the YSN network. All of you are in. Now we have new members. The total now is double the number that I was dealing with a few years ago. When I was running the YSN, there were 120 members. Now I believe more than 240 or 50 now. So it is a very heavy investment of us. You ask us, why bother? Why bother? We are quite good. We are only top of the game. Why bother to coach you guys, to mentor you guys? Well, very simple answer. We expect you to build the future. It is on your shoulders now because we are going away soon. So you'll replace us. It's part of the biological process. You'll be recycled through the system. End of life, basically. So the young scientists should lead the way. And you have what it takes to lead the way because you are in a better position to change your mindsets as opposed or as compared with the older generations who may be already set in their ways. So lead the way. Second, if you can lead the way, certainly building a better future will be within our grasp. And certainly I'm not talking about you in this room, young scientists in general throughout the world, the global young scientists network, as it were. And of course, finally, once you are leading the way, you are set to change the future direction or trajectory. You have to be innovative, not just with technology in mind, but having clearly in mind the human side as well as the humanity side within your radar, your perspective. So I wanted to say that to make sure that this afternoon's program is not looking at some simple technical solutions. I'm not saying simple, it's quite hard technical solutions, but single dimensional. We want it to be three-dimensional. Right? Three-dimensional, the way I said before, you are actually filling into space, not one line, not one flat surface. It is in 3 dimensions. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Datuk Dr. Tengku Muhammad Azman Sharifuddin for the inspiring words. So dear fellow scientists, remember that don't be dengar tapi peka. So hence we need more inspiring young scientists for the nation. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests and our esteemed panel of judges. So it's a moment that we all have been waiting for. So it's a presentation from our 5 outstanding Chrysalis teams. So a quick reminder to our teams. So you have a total of 15 minutes for your presentation, followed by a 10 minutes for question and answer. So we'll keep it precise with timing. You'll hear a subtle bell ring at 10 minutes, and another at the 15 minutes, marking the conclusion of your presentation. And without further ado, let me introduce the esteemed panel of judges for today. So first, we have Professor Dr. Noor Hadiani Ismail, lecturer at UiTM Puncak Alam as our chief judge. So let us give a big hand of applause. And followed by Dr. Chantara Devi Ratnam, external expert at Malaysian Nuclear Agency. Mr. Aizal Baharuddin, Head Strategic Research Department at Petronas. IR Dr. Noor Shah Hafiz Swai from MTC Group. And last but not the least, Mr. Abdul Aziz Abu Asan, Technology Analyst of Technology Commercialization, Meranti. Okay, thank you, judges. In regards to the Q&A session, so the finalists, you will hear a subtle bell ring at 8 minutes and another at the 10 minutes, marking the conclusion of your answer. And there will be 2 independent judging as a group and then as an individual. The criteria for group judging including objectives, novelty, impact statement, connectivity, research deliverables, research and methodologies, data sharing and management, budget breakdown and presentation. While on the other hand, individual judging criteria are presentation skills and ability to answer the question by the judges. So now, without further delay, please join me in welcoming Team 1 to the stage. The stage is yours, Team 1. So let's give her a big hand of applause.
Hello, mic test. So, ladies and gentlemen, imagine, what if we are living in a world that is full of waste? How would you feel? Would you be comfortable seeing waste around you? Think about it. But remember, if we don't do proper waste management now, in the next 10 to 20 years, we are going to live together with waste. With that, ladies and gentlemen, good evening and Salam Malaysia Madani. Today, I'm Subhashini Raman from Universiti Sains Malaysia, who would like to present to you on From Waste to Value, Sustainable Production of Calcium Carbonate Nanoparticles from Construction Waste. So firstly, I would like to apologize on behalf of my teammates who's for their absence. So first thing first, according to statistics in Japan, approximately 40% of waste accounts up to 40% of concrete waste in Japan. So in that case, we are going to look at the first sub-project 1, which is from Mr. Fahim, and what he has to say about Malaysia's waste.
Hi everyone, I'm from Universiti Malaysia. So our project proposal mainly about the utilization of construction waste, which is cement waste from the concrete demolition by extracting the calcium carbonate from the cement waste for pharmaceutical application. Do you know that the cement production in Malaysia is estimated at average 1.8 metric ton per year, and the concrete waste accounted almost 60% of the total construction waste generated. So this large amount of concrete waste generated result in considerable environmental impacts. So that is why we choose to propose this project as a solution to overcome this problem. And the reason of why we decide to extract calcium carbonate from cement waste is because calcium carbonate is a widely used minerals in numerous industries, including construction, agriculture, pharmaceuticals, and also environmental remediation, making it a highly sought after commodity. By reclaiming calcium carbonate from the cement waste, not only minimize the environmental impact, but also promote circular economy principles by turning waste into a valuable resource. So, as the first part of this project, it can be divided into 3 main phases. The first phase is segregation process of concrete waste from the construction site. As we all know, concrete consists of various materials such as steel from the reinforcement, aggregates, and also cement. So, we need to crush the concrete first in order to separate the cement waste with other materials that we don't want. After we manage to obtain the cement waste, we will proceed with the second phase, which is the characterization of the waste cement samples. So in this phase, we will do material characterization analysis such as XRD analysis, XRF analysis, SEM, and also FTIR in order to identify the content of calcium carbonate in our cement waste samples. So during this phase also, we will grind the cement waste into a fine powder particles so that the extraction process of the calcium carbonate can be optimized. So then we will continue with the third phase, which is the calcium carbonate extraction process. This extraction will use carbonation process. The carbonation process involves reacting cement waste with the carbon dioxide gases to extract and form a calcium carbonate. So in this process, a highly pressured stirring tank vessel reactor with a 500 milliliter in a volume made of nickel-based alloy serve as the primary equipment. Once we manage to extract the calcium carbonate from the cement waste, we will continue with the second part of this project that will be presented by my friend after this. So that's all for me. Thank you very much.
So that is from Fahim, which is on sub-project 1. So, and that project, after the extraction of calcium carbonate, will be proceed to sub-project 2, which will be handled by Tan Hui. I will be presenting on behalf of Tan Hui, who's absent today. So, sub-project 2 is on calcium purification and characterization. So basically, we all know that calcium is an important factor in a human body. So typical way of calcium extractions comes from eggshell waste and also kitchen waste, as well as biological materials like cockle and shellfish. So in this case, we are going to synthesize the calcium carbonate from cement waste, and we are going to purify it and characterize it so that it actually complies to the standards of pharma or food grade supplements. So in that case, we are also going to comply to the zero waste initiative that is initiated by the Malaysian government. So first thing first, we are going to do the purification step. So this is the first method, which is the filtration and sedimentation method, followed by distillation of calcium carbonate with 1.0 megapascal of carbon dioxide, followed by recrystallization to produce a highly purified calcium carbonate. And that will be followed by a thorough characterization to ensure the quality and also the purity of the calcium carbonate. So these are the example of characterization that we are going to do in overall. And after the purification and also characterization process, that will be handed over to me, which is on development of calcium carbonate nanoparticles and the pharmacological evaluation of waste-derived carbon dioxide. So in this project, what we're going to look at is how we are going to develop the nanoparticles. So in the development of nanoparticle, we are going to use two instruments here, or either one of it, which is to produce microparticles or nanoparticles, based on the application that we want to do. So in this case, you can see here, microparticles and nanoparticles image that is shown here, which can be used for pharmaceutical application as well as other application in construction industries as well. So now I have two things in my hand. One is the waste-derived calcium carbonate. Another one more is the calcium carbonate microparticles and nanoparticles developed or formulated using the waste-derived calcium carbonate. Okay, so with these two things, what I'm going to do next? Characterizations, specifically on nanoparticles, because the waste-derived calcium carbonate, which is purified, is already being done characterization by Tan Hui on sub-project 2, but mine will be specifically on nanoparticle characterization. So this nanoparticle characterization and morphology study, particle size and everything will be evaluated, followed by another important thing. So I hear you guys. I'm sure you're thinking, is it safe, Shubha? Are you serious about calling us to eat cement right now? Are you sure you're going to call us to eat construction waste right now? I hear you guys, worry not. So, can it be consumed? Is it safe? So, I have the answer for you guys. Okay, so first thing, we're going to do thorough pharmacological evaluation. As much as you all are concerned, we are responsible as researchers to make sure that you guys consume it safely and be healthy out there. Okay? So first thing first, we are going to do cytotoxicity evaluation on human fibroblast cells. What are the information that we're going to get here? Is cell viability. Okay? So we're going to check the cell viability, whether the cell is still safe? Is it still alive after the treatment using calcium carbonate, both pure and also the developed nanoparticle, which is derived from the calcium carbonate waste? Okay, so using the cell viability, we can tell that whether it's toxic or it is not toxic. So at the same time, we can also develop a dose response curve to establish the safe levels of exposure of calcium carbonate for potential applications. And besides this, we can also study the morphology of the cells to check the apoptosis and also other features. Okay? So once the cell study is successful, and it should be successful based on our literature review, we will proceed to the cute animals that we have with us, which is the rat model study. So first thing, in vivo toxicity, what we are going to do, so we have first group, control group. Second is the control group, which is not treated with anything. Second will be the group that is treated with pure standard calcium carbonate that is being bought. The third group treated with pure calcium carbonate derived from calcium carbonate waste, derived from construction waste. And the fourth group, the nanoparticles. Okay? So with that, we will treat the rats for the next 28 days, and then we will do blood sampling, and we will check the hematological and biochemical analysis. And the histopathological examination will show if there's any tissue abnormalities or anything abnormal with the organs in the rat. So if there is any residual material that is being carried from the waste, for example, like semen or silica, definitely it's going to alter the structure of the organs or the tissues, and it's going to impact and cause toxicity inside the rat. So after that, we are going to look at what is the application. Okay, why are we doing nanoparticle, and where are we going to apply this thing here? So first thing, pharmaceutical industry and dietary supplement, as what I'm already talking about. For example, calcium incorporated into toothpaste, right? So we can actually use the calcium from here to incorporate inside toothpaste. Second thing, calcium supplement. And third thing, which is the drug delivery, which is the nanomaterial. Calcium nanoparticles can be used as a nanoparticle where we can actually incorporate any form of drug into this calcium nanomaterial, a calcium which is used as a carrier where we can actually deliver it as a dual drug delivery as well. So we have achieved two things at the same time. And let's say if you still find it's not safe to be consumed, we can still reuse or recycle back the same thing in construction industry, which means up to sub-project 1 itself, we don't have to go and mine all the calcium carbonate again from the mountains, which we can recycle it and use back in the construction industry. The second point is the calcium carbonate nanoparticles is also going to increase the material strength in the cement or in the buildings where the calcium carbonate, nano-sized calcium carbonate is going to fill in the pores, the porous part in cement actually, which is going to increase the material strength and also the stability, where this application will show this pretty simple thing, which is calcium carbonate nanoparticles, has various applications besides just applying or coming up this project in terms of pharmaceutical product. Okay, so potential collaborators that we are looking into. So we are trying to think a little bit far instead of thinking about paper-based projects, right? So we are thinking of collaborating with German, Indian, US expert based on the project nature, as well as to incorporate with NPRA, KKM, as well as CIRIM. Especially CIRIM is a very good place to actually evaluate all the safety, evaluate and also to confirm the safety evaluations, which will give us a more solid data. So finally, what do we achieve here? So first thing, 1010 MySDIE, which is health and medical. We can achieve that, as well as environmental and biodiversity, and 4 SDGs in one project, which is first SDG 9, industry, innovation and infrastructure, SDG 11, sustainable cities and sustainable city communities, SDG 12, responsible consumption and production, and finally, SDG 3, good health and well-being. So this is the overall view of our project budget, which is about 750,000, followed by our milestone for the 3 years. This is a very interlinked, and we can actually work out this project together. And it's about approximately expected to be within 3 years. And finally, since my rat is healthy after getting treated with calcium carbonate, so we can say that actually calcium carbonate supplements is pretty much safe to be consumed. And that's all from me. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Tuan, for the presentations. So now we open the floor to our judges for questions. Judges, the stage is yours.
Thank you very much, Ms. Subhashini, right?
Yep.
You have taken a very big responsibility presenting for your colleagues as well. So really appreciate that and thank you very much. Congratulations for a very smooth presentation. Just one question to kick off the Q&A session for you. From a chemical point of view, calcium carbonate, it doesn't matter from what source it is, will have the same chemical and biological properties. So why do you think that you will need to actually compare or test the calcium carbonate purified from this waste material with the calcium carbonate standard? It will have the same pharmacological activity actually. So I would be more concerned about the impurities, the carryover impurities that might affect the profile. So it's just a thought that let's see how you respond to this question.
Okay, thank you so much, Doctor. So first thing, it is always advisable to have a pure standard, which is BORD, so that we can compare the purity compared to what we have actually purified. So we have to match the purity at least 90%. That is the first thing. Second thing is, it's always good to see whether is there any difference between the pharmacological reaction given by the standard calcium carbonate as well as the treated, as well as the one that is waste derived. And regarding the residual thing and also other components that you are concerned about, right? Definitely that is the first sub-project 1 and sub-project 2 where it is covered under the characterization. We are going to do LCMS, HPLC in order to assure that there's not even minor residual thing that is going to be there and it's all completely removed. Was that, does that answer your question, Doctor?
Not really, but we'll accept it for the pitching session. Okay. All right. Is there any question for budget? Yeah. Could you show us the budget breakdown again, because it was very fast just now.
Now, you are actually producing nano size calcium carbonate, right? Do you have any costs, in terms of cost to produce nano size of calcium carbonate from waste is to be, from my point of view, it's not cost effective. So say that you are failed to be used in healthcare applications. You may go back to the construction, okay? So in terms of cost, I think it's not too effective. So what is your comment on this?
Okay, Doctor, first thing, if let's say we are going to go back to construction industries, we will stop up to sub-project 1. So that will save a lot of costs because that part of extraction is considered recycling and we might not proceed further on the characterization, which is the huge amount of money that is going to be invested, or in the case of checking or R&D, as well as if we are going to scale up. But if, let's say, when we are talking about strength of materials, which is using calcium carbonate or specific materials that really needs a strong element, then we can consider producing it in nanoparticle size to ensure the material strength. But as of now, there's literature study that says that it is doable to convert calcium carbonate into, pure calcium carbonate to be produced into food or pharmaceutical supplement application.
Okay, one more question. Say that beside construction industry and food industry, what else the application of calcium carbonate?
for example, paint, even in tires, they actually use some sort of calcium carbonate as well. Like a lot of other things as well, like cement, paint, construction, pharmaceutical, drug delivery. So yeah, that's about it.
What is the advantage of using nano size compared to the micro size?
Actually, it depends on application. Micro size and nano size doesn't really matter much, especially when it comes to construction industry. But when it comes to pharmaceutical industry, when you use nano size, the bioavailability is better, the solubility is better, the drug delivery targeting is better compared to microparticles. And in the case of calcium, we are more, let's say if it's pharma grade, we are preferring more on nanoparticle size. But if it's microparticles, we prefer more to construction side.
Right. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Subhashini. You carry the weight of the whole team. Thank you, well done. I have one comment and one question to you.
Okay.
I like the idea of you, your team, to consider recycling into the construction industry, because from my point of view, that's where the value of sustainability you can see, especially if you consider extracting calcium carbonate from precipitation of reduction of pressure using CO2, you will definitely going to use up a lot of carbon dioxide that we want to remove from our environment. So well done on that part. It's just a question that from commercial point of view, have you guys assessed what is the cost of producing 1 kilogram out of, let's say, 1 ton of this concrete waste?
Actually, it's 1 out of 3, doctor. So it's actually out of concrete waste, 1 out of 3 is actually consists of carbon dioxide. So if you're considering 1 out of 3, if we are getting that waste for free, we could reduce the amount by 20% in terms of cost when it comes to production of supplement. Because when we are actually taking the waste for free, the source of extraction is going to be already free. So we can cut down costs on that. And that's why even when it comes to production of nanoparticle or even the purification step, we actually try to employ something very simple and also cost effective. Like for example, in the case of nano spray dryer now, it's just one machine that we can actually scale up easily. Nothing much to be upgraded when it comes to scale up, as well as that whole machine is actually capable of producing straight away the nanoparticle instead of 2-3 steps, which also acquires a lot of manpower and all. So yeah. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, judges, for the questions. And then a big thank you to Team 1 for your Hello? Is it stop working? Okay, a big thank you to Team 1. So let us give a big hand of applause to them. And then your dedication, especially Shubha, to the work is truly commendable. So you may go to your seat. So ladies and gentlemen, so we have set the bar high with Team 1's presentation, right? So we are eagerly looking forward to what our next other team can do for us. So let us keep the energy going as we welcome Team 2 to the stage. So your time to shine, Team 2. Let's shine.
But have you ever thought of what can we do with the waste after extracting its juice?
Can we make them into money?
Why not? Before we start our pitching, I would like to ask all of you here, how many of you here travel here by car today? Thank you for raising up your hand. I can see that most of you here travels here by car. But what if one day Malaysia runs out of petroleum? What can we do next? So, we are here from Group 2. I'm Pei Hsia, and this is Tuan. This is Jia Xin, and we are here to pitch our topic and title, Transforming Pineapple Waste into Sustainable Biobutanol Energy for Planetary Health. So Malaysia has 14 years of petroleum reserve remaining. So it would be interesting if we can convert the pineapple waste into biobutanol. And 1 ton of pineapple waste can produce up to 46 liters of biobutanol. But why pineapple waste out of all the waste here? This is due to its abundance, and we have high production and also plantation of pineapple in Malaysia as well as worldwide. And by doing this, we can reduce the number of pineapple waste being produced annually and also save the gasoline, as well as help in the reduction of carbon dioxide and greenhouse gas emission, and also reduce the health expenditure from carbon dioxide emission, which costs us 4% GDP. Interesting, right? But how can we turn the waste into the biobutanol? So here is how. So our project consists of 3 sub-projects. Sub-project 1, module verification on pineapple waste management. Sub-project 2, direct co-culture of biobutanol production. And sub-project 3, novel membrane for in situ recovery. So join us on this exciting journey on how we bring the waste from pineapple farm to the refined biobutanol for application as transportation fuel.
So through our project, we are really serious to contribute to the global goals like SDG 4, 7, and 13. Instead of that, our aspiration to change from the pineapple waste into the renewable energy is aligned with the 1010 MySTIE framework. In terms of that, we also supporting our national policy agenda, as you can see at the screen right now. So next, I will bring all of you to our first sub-project. Did you know that the Malaysian farm is covering almost 10,500 of football field? What do you think? Is it huge, right? But this is the twist. All right, after the harvest, we left over the pineapple waste, but it's not just only on the pineapple waste problem. Definitely burning all this stuff will give the negative effect to our health system, especially increasing the risk of the cancer. So what's our mission? Our mission is to produce a module that can help the pineapple farmers on the pineapple waste management. It's not only about that. Maybe from there, in this project, we will try to encourage what we can have from the pineapple waste, such as increase the skills and boost their incomes. So, I will try to tell you in the easy way to understand in this sub-project how it will go. By using the design and development research method, the first phase is need analysis. In this phase, actually, we will try to engage and get connected with all the pineapple farmers all over the nation. We want to know what is the problem in the pineapple waste. The second one, what the causes. And the third one, how we can solve. From this phase, we go to the next phase. The second phase is the design and development. From the input that we get, then we call all over the experts in the pineapple field to get their insight on the first phase data. Then at this phase, we will try to create a module on the pineapple waste management. Next is the phase 3 evaluation. In this phase, we will go back to see all the pineapple farmers to get the input from them, to get the opinion. Isn't it? The module is really useful for them and can help them to manage the pineapple waste. But not only that, is that can help them to increase their income. So, this 3 phase is actually building, is the process about to try to find out something missing and the building that something module that can help them. It's a win-win situation.
Next, moving on to our second sub-project, enhance biobutanol production using pineapple plant stem as substrate through consolidated bioprocessing. Now, before we look at what consolidated bioprocessing really means, here is the overall picture of second sub-project. So from pineapple stem to biobutanol, so there are 4 objectives here. The first one, which is the main objective, on the monoculture and also co-culture using consolidated bioprocessing approach. And second, on the optimization. Third, upscaling in a bioreactor. And last one would be on the life cycle assessment. Now, let's take a look at how biobutanol is usually being produced from a biomass and how it is different from our proposal. So, usually, when we are using a biomass, and let's say in this pineapple plant stem, we have these starch molecules. And now, in order to use it, we have our enzyme shelf, which is our amylase, and it acts as a special tool to cut the bond between the glucose monomers. And after cutting, we will get our single sugar molecules. Now, these single sugar monomers will be used to insert into our shake flask. And then after inserting it, we will have our next hero, which is our Clostridium. This Clostridium will act as the biobutanol producer, and we put it in the shake flask. And then we shake it, and then we will have our biobutanol. And that's the common way of producing it. So what's so special about our project? So in our project, instead of having to undergo the extra pre-treatment step and also addition of commercial enzyme, now we can just insert the pineapple plant stem after grinding it. So just insert the whole thing into the shake flask. And now we have our 2 heroes here. So the first hero is our bacteria Bacillus. So Bacillus will act as the sugar supplier, in which it will break down the complex molecules in the pineapple plant stem into sugar monomers. And next, the sugars will be consumed by our Clostridium. So now we have these 2 bacteria into the shake flask to create the co-culture environment. And then we shake, and voila, we get our biobutanol production in the shake flask. Yeah, so here's our biobutanol being produced. But what if we want to get it in a higher scale and then larger volume? So we need to optimize it. But after optimization, here comes our 10-liter bioreactor. So in this 10-liter bioreactor, the same thing, we will put our pineapple plant stem inside. And then we put our 2 heroes here, Bacillus and Clostridium. And the same thing happens. We shake it, and then now we have our biobutanol production in a larger volume. So next, we will proceed for the final objective on the life cycle assessment to study the impact assessment from the raw material to the production itself. So that's for the second sub-project.
Okay, moving on to the third sub-project in our project. So we have the topic with in situ recovery of biobutanol through anti-biofouling PDMS-based membrane. So before we dive into the exciting parts, let's set the stage by talking about membrane technology. Okay, talking about membrane technology, we will think it as a super efficient filter system, and we are all very familiar with it when it comes to water treatment system and also food industry. However, per-evaporation membrane is not widely being adopted in the industry of the biofuel production industry. But in fact, per-evaporation membrane actually give several significant advantages over the conventional distillation column, which is widely used in the biofuel recovery industry. So what it offers actually is a higher energy efficiency, also milder operating condition, as well as it has a high selective of recovery of biobutanol. Okay, what is the challenge with per-evaporation membrane actually? Biofouling is actually the biggest problem that we have with our per-evaporation membrane. So what is biofouling? Biofouling is actually when our membrane gets dirty and slow down, just like the clog out system, filter system in your kitchen.
So we can see from here the commercialization, commercial pro-operation membrane we have here is Perwatec and also Swizzle. Both of them are made up of PDMS and both of them are not anti-biofouling. So if they are not anti-biofouling, they requires a physical or chemical cleaning, or they requires an additional step of microfiltration before the pro-operation process. So what is our mission here? Our mission here is actually to develop an anti-biofouling PDMS membrane. So what do? We introduce nanofiller into the membrane, which will attract the butanol molecules and let it easily go through the membranes, and it will pass through the membrane easily. And then we will introduce into BEG, which is another type of polymer, to actually repel the microbe molecules and say no to biofouling. So this is how our game will start. First, in the objective 1, we will assess the feasibility of UV-induced polymerization to fabricate a fast and continuous polymer brain membrane. And in second objective, we will assess the properties of anti-biofouling and also pro-operation performance after we introduce the nanofiller with different structures and composition. And in the third objective, we will take the best performing membrane from objective 2 to optimize the process parameters in objective 3. And lastly, we will incorporate this optimized pro-operation process in objective 3 with the fermentative process in sub-project 2 to boost up the overall efficiency. So after talking all of the details for our sub-project, here let's talk about money. Our total expenses for the whole project, including all the details here, it sum up for a total of 740,464 ringgit Malaysia. So our project is not about research only. We are going to produce 3 main products. The first product from the first sub-project will be educational module on pineapple waste management. Second, sub-project 2 will produce a 10-liter biobutanol production, and the third sub-project will produce an anti-biofouling pro-operation membrane. We are also aiming to train 3 PhD students, secure 2 intellectual properties, and also publish up to 11 articles paper in 3 years. So this is our sharing plan. First, we will share to make sure the data accessibility and also connectivity between our sub-projects through data clouds. And also we are planning to have meetings with our sub-project members and also our stakeholders to keep us all informed and on track. So we have identified some of the stakeholders here for potential collaboration. And also we will share our data and outputs of our project through journals, conferences, and patents, of course, for the benefit of the public.
So, from this project, our project, we have 3 main missions. The first one is we are clearing the air by saving planet by providing a greener and healthier world. The second one is we are supercharging rural communities, making the new job and increase the income all over the pineapple farmers. And the last one is, in terms of the governance, we are really looking at how our project really give impact to our communities and also contribute back to the global. Last but not least, biofuels are the future of energy in this nation and around the world. With that, thank you. Salam Malaysia Madani.
Okay, thank you, Team 2. So now let's open the floor for the questions. Judges, the floor is yours.
Right. Thank you, Shazwan, Pei Hsia, and Jia Xin. Okay, you presented a very nice presentation with an excellent teamwork, helping each other, and that's really great. Well done.
Thank you, Prof.
Thank you.
I just want to ask a very fundamental question for Pei Hsia. Okay, you are proposing a one-pot reaction, basically.
Yes.
Okay, so your only novelty between a conventional method is a one-pot reaction.
Yes.
Okay, all right. So I think this is not enough in terms of science, okay, because a one-pot reaction versus a step-by-step reaction is really not much. It's just technical. Okay, so my question is, have you ever thought of utilizing other microorganisms for the hydrolysis part and also for the transformation part? Maybe you could find a combination that will optimize the formation of the biobutanol. So rather than just sticking to a recipe, so you should be exploring other organisms, and your purpose should be optimizing the yield of the final product.
Yes, thank you, Prof, for the question. So to answer this, why we select these two microorganisms, which is Bacillus and also Clostridium, because it is well known that this Clostridium is good in achieving high yield of the production for the biobutanol. But why Bacillus? This is because Bacillus is able to use up all the almost all the compositions in the pineapple plant stem, in which other bacteria may not be able to do this. For example, it will produce lacase, which can help in the pre-treatment of the pineapple plant stem. And also second, it can produce cellulase, which can hydrolyze the hemicellulose and also cellulose. Then it can also produce amylase at the same time, in which that can help in the hydrolysis of the starch. Also, this Bacillus can also produce protease, which can break down the protein molecules in the pineapple stem itself. So by using this Bacillus, it is different from other common methods, which only use Corynebacterium, because this one we can utilize all the compositions. Yeah, so that's why we choose these two microorganisms.
Okay, I have one question for Shazwan. So I would like to know why you choose pineapple in the first place. Because if you compare to others crops available like sugarcane have more glucose compared to pineapple, right? And then they also offer higher biomass yields per acre. So I need to know what is the competitive advantage of the product. Because if you wanted to commercialize further, compared to others similar solution but using others different crops, there will be some competitive there, you know, and then they will achieve further than what you can do, because they have they produce way better than yours.
Okay. All right. I think I have to answer for that. Thank you for the questions. The first reason is the pineapple waste is actually the pineapple itself. 80% of that is a waste. So don't want to waste the pineapple, because we know that from the 80% of this, we can make it for something else, generating income. But from our studies, it's actually we are only looking forward for only for the stem. But what happened to other parts? So that's why we want to see how we can manage the pineapple farms, the pineapple waste. So we don't want waste of 80% of pineapples each. So then we're looking forward how to for the pineapple waste. Okay, second, all right. As I mentioned, so Malaysia is one of the big production of the pineapples. So chanting 1.06 all over the world. So we see that the pineapple have a good potential. We know that as you mentioned on the sugarcane, even the other plantation. So why not? Because we know that we have a lot of pineapples over here in Malaysia. So then we want to utilize on the pineapples. That's my answer. Thank you.
Maybe just an added point to Shazwan's answer. So why we choose pineapple plant is because of the, one of the things is because food security. Let's say we are choosing other crops with high starch content, so it will compete with the food that we are consuming. So pineapple plant is a waste, and also second is on the composition of the pineapple itself. So other than starch, it also consists of like other components like proteins and also lignocellulosic, which can be useful in this fermentation as well. Yeah, thank you.
Also, if not mistaken, pineapple waste will be the second largest crop in Malaysia. So just after the palm oil fiber, if not mistaken.
A question to Jia Xin on the membrane. Can you give just some estimation? What kind of additional cost that you need to implement in order for you to turn this into an anti-biofiling PDMS membrane?
Additional costs on?
On top of if you have a normal membrane, if you want to turn it into anti-biofiling, anti-fouling membrane, is there any more cost? What sort of range that you're talking about?
If on top, or thank you for the question. If on top of the cost, I think if we consider the whole fabrication of the membrane, only on cost we will add on with the cost of nano filler and also the new polymer PEG that we are going to add on. Yeah.
Because I assume that if you add this cost, you're going to save in terms of the maintenance, right? That's why I want to see, what kind of cost benefit is there.
Yes. So in my point of view, there's two costs add on that, which is the polymer and also the nanofiller. And then what we can save on is the maintenance, which is cleaning using chemicals or physical, or even the labor cost that we need to clean up and all that. Yeah.
Thanks to the judges for the question. And then a big round of applause for Team 2 for the engaging presentation and then a well-answered questions. And then an excellent job and well done, Team 2.
Hello.
So I guess ready? Okay, let us please give a warm welcome to Team 3 as they're already on the stage. So over to you, Team 3.
Testing.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Wan En. With me today are Miyor and Wen Yi. We are from Group 3. We'd like to present our research concept about frontiers of microplastics in sewage treatment. Through integration of advanced filtration, real-time detection, and sustainable reuse, we would like to bring you into the world of plastics. This is the agenda of today's presentation. Now, microplastics. The teeny tiny plastic particles with the size range from 5 millimeter to 1 micrometer. It may come from various sources, from the breakdown of bigger plastic parts to microbits from our cosmetics and personal wear products. Microfibers. Well, microfibers, threads from our clothes and other synthetic textiles are the major type of microplastics found in our sewage. Recent years, scientists found out that microplastics were ingested by aquatic organisms. This is how microplastics enter our food chain. Over time, microplastics releases poisonous leachate, causing both physical and toxicological damage. Now, microplastics are so small that 1 to 10% of them are managed to escape from our sewage treatment plant. According to an estimation, 2.97 microplastics were released into our environment in the liter of treated sewage. This may sound a little, right? But Malaysia processes 9 million liters of sewage every day, meaning that we release 27 million microplastic particles into our environment every single day. In a year, 10 billion microplastics, and most of them are non-biodegradable, which means that they might stay in the sea or in our food chain forever. This leads us to highlight the gap of microplastics research and management in sewage treatment plant in Malaysia. First, the filter system in current sewage treatment plant was not designed to remove emerging contaminants like microplastics. Secondly, according to a reliable source, there is a lack of technology-driven approach to address the presence of sewage treatment plant. Last but not least, the disposal of microplastics and microplastic-containing sewage sludge from sewage treatment plant prompted the microplastic pollution.
So, we are on our mission to reduce the discharge of microplastics into our water sources, and we are doing it through an environmentally sustainable approach. Our proposed technology consists of 3 main components. The first one is the filtration device to filter the microplastics using membrane. Second, we have the smart sensors to detect real-time data of microplastics content in our water sources. And thirdly, we are going to repurpose the filtered microplastics into sustainable use, which is construction material. Well, before we dive any deeper, let's bring this proposed technology to life through a simple demonstration that we have tools here. So imagine the membrane here is the pink sponge here is our membrane. As the polluted water is channeled through the filtration device, the membrane will selectively allows only water to pass through it while trapping the microplastics on its surface. So, what are we getting on the other side of the membrane is the clear water free from microplastics. Not only that, this filtration device is going to be installed with smart sensors which will detect the real-time content of microplastics in the water for the use of sub-project 2 and sub-project 3 later on. Not only that, we are also pioneering an innovative approach to reuse the filtered microplastics and also the used membranes. With this, we are going to achieve zero discharge, reducing the pollution to the environment, as well as giving additional value to these wastes. Well, let's talk about the sub-projects. The first sub-project focuses on the development of the filtration device where the membrane is the heart of the operation. So, for the first time, fly ash will be used as the main ingredient in our membrane formulation for the filtration of microplastics. The question here is, you might be wondering, why fly ash? You know, fly ash is highly hazardous to the environment, to human, if they're not handled properly. So instead, we are sending it to the landfill for disposal. We are taking it, blend it with binder, and form agent, which are the other precursors to form a suspension. This suspension will be then extruded and heated to form fly ash hollow fiber membrane to specifically filter the microplastics. The first two objectives of this sub-project is to identify the best formulation and fabrication method to form the membrane. This is because these two aspects are going to determine the characteristics of the membrane and its performance. So, with the right formulation and fabrication method, we are getting a membrane with the desired characteristics and will perform exceptionally well at a much lower capital cost compared to many other membrane formulations available in the market today. So, The third objective, on the other hand, is to mitigate fouling caused by the clogging of the microplastics in the membrane. However, fouling in this sense is not an irreversible process. It can be backwashed. Hence, simultaneously, we are going to collect the filtered microplastics for the use in sub-project 3 later on.
Moving on, sub-project 2 is all about real-time detection and monitoring of microplastic. We are developing a one sensor system that can continuously monitor microplastic. This technology allows us to distinguish microplastic from other particles by their unique electrical properties through electrochemical impedance spectroscopy with the aid of ultra-high definition imaging to eliminate interference errors. But we are not stopping there. We are integrating Internet of Things, IoT, for remote data collection and real-time alerts. This technology can send automated alerts to designated agents if the microplastic exceeds certain levels. This is a perfect blend of innovation and practicality. With said so, the three main objectives of this sub-project include first, designing, fabricating, and testing the sensor system. Second, preparing and training the system using real and synthetic wastewater samples. And finally, integrating IoT for real-time monitoring and predictive maintenance. By developing this advanced sensor system, it not only provides real-time detection and monitoring of microplastic, but also complements the membrane filtration technology proposed in sub-project 1 and reuse of microplastic proposed in sub-project 3.
Sub-project 3 focuses on sustainable reuse. Before I dive deeper, I would like to introduce you to sewage sludge. Sewage sludge is a byproduct from sewage treatment plant. The annual production in Malaysia is 120,000 tons. It is usually used as fertilizer, but it also contains microplastics, which would further the microplastic pollution in our agricultural soil. On the other hand, research has shown that sewage sludge can be turned into cementitious material through geopolymer technology. So instead of being used as fertilizer, we should use sewage sludge as a construction material. This could help contain the microplastics in our building, achieve plastic circularity. So, Objective 1 and Objective 2 target on the development of sewage sludge-based geopolymer binder and mortar. The production is very simple. It is mixing of sewage sludge, alkaline activators, and water, while microplastics and the foul membrane from sub-project 1 will be added into the mortar as polymer and ceramic aggregates. Objective 3 address the durability of the geopolymer mortar. This is to ensure that the mortar can perform in real-life applications. Overall, this sub-project promotes the reduced reliance on ordinary Portland cement. Moving on to our project plan. All three subtopics will be completed within 3 years, and 6 milestones will be accomplished in every year. Through this 3-year program, a filter membrane integrated with smart sensor and the approach for microplastic reuse to reduce the microplastic pollution from sewage treatment plant will be developed. The result will be published in 9 Q1 journal papers. Data will be presented to stakeholders and shared on the Malaysia Open Science platform. A total of 682,000 ringgit Malaysia is required to complete the entire program.
With our proposed integrated system, we are driving transformative improvements across various dimensions. First, think about the environment. We aim to remove a substantial amount of microplastics of as small as 10 micrometers and then incorporate them into green construction materials, which aligns with the Sustainable Development Goals 6, 12, and 14. Next, this project also contributes to microplastic measurement and pollution prevention, thus protecting food security and minimizing threats to human health. This in turn aids in the government's policy making process and promotes more sustainable and healthier living society. Last but not least, let's not forget the economy. Our project's circular economy approach utilizes and repurposes waste materials such as fly ash, sewage sludge, membrane filters, and microplastic. By generating profit from the production of valuable construction materials, we can both foster the economy, prosperity, and environmental sustainability. This project is well aligned with the national agendas and policies like Malaysia Plastic Sustainability Roadmap and National Water Innovation Roadmap. We are not just talking about water quality. We are addressing an important aspect of the journey from source to tap, as emphasized by Suruhanjaya Berkhidmatan Air Negara. This project also well aligns with the Green Technology Master Plan, which we are committed to recycling 100% of sludge, making a real tangible difference in circular economy. Next, let's talk about the incredible market potential brought by our project. First, think about the market. It is not just big, it's booming. We are addressing sectors that are actively seeking for innovation solutions due to the global push for well-being and sustainability. In fact, the global membrane separation technology market is projected to reach a revenue of $62 billion in 2030, while the global sensor technology market is expanding rapidly, projected to reach an impressive $345 by 2028. Besides, the demand for sustainable, environmentally friendly material is skyrocketing. The global green building material is expected to reach $768 billion by 2032. Nevertheless, this project is not about making a profit. It is about a win-win for the planet and the economy.
We designed this project with the end goal in mind, which relates to the environment, society, economy, and who knows, could potentially affecting or influencing the policymakers in relating to microplastics issues. So we are tackling the problems of microplastics via a sustainable route, driven by a vision that we could turn these tiny plastics into big opportunities. The opportunities lies before our eyes that we could actually propel the nation's agenda and establish Malaysia as the pioneer for global microplastics research and treatment. Well, now let's help me rephrase this statement right here. It's no longer tiny plastics, big problems. It's now for us, tiny plastics, big opportunities. Thank you.
Wow, pretty impressive. Well done, Team 3. So time for question and answer session. So judges, any questions for Team 3?
Thank you. Well done, Team 3. I have a question to Wen Yi. I am quite surprised to hear that you are considering electrochemical impedance spectroscopy, but because I'm not sure whether you can achieve the steady state when you actually try to measure them, because it's always unstable. Have you considered any other alternative than EIS, for example, infrared?
For this, I'm actually choosing EIS, and I incorporate with optical sensors. And the reason why is that EIS actually is a high throughput sensors that actually in the study, it can differentiate like red blood cell and blastocysts for 200 cells per second. So that is one of the reasons why I choose it. And it is highly accurate. And why I incorporate with the imaging sensor is because if they stand alone, they both have drawbacks. That's why I try to incorporate them. And it was found that with EIS, it's actually high accuracy, but except it might misdetect the bubbles. That is why I incorporate imaging, which can detect bubbles. And this is why I choose these two methods instead of the conventional one. From this study, the conventional one, I think, is Raman spectroscopy, which is expensive. And also another one is using new rate with fluorescence spectroscopy. Why I didn't choose this is because this is water, so I don't want to introduce any new material inside our water. And yeah, that's why, that's the reason why we choose EIS and optical sensor. Thank you for the question.
Maybe to Mio. Is there any alternative to using fly ash? Because the project that you propose is, you specifically mentioned that you're using fly ash, and this tied straight to the project 3 as well, where you want to use it for, aggregate material for building, right? So is there any alternate material? If you don't use fly ash, can you come up with a similar membrane that, perhaps give the same capture efficiency?
If we're talking about membrane, it's always inorganic or organic. So we have another route is we are using polymer, say. Polymer is some sort of plastic, so we are not going to treat plastics with plastic. So that's why we are choosing the different route to treat.
Is there any other material that you can use instead of?
If in sense of organic material, we can say use ceramics, membrane, and whatnot. So we are focusing on utilizing and giving values to the waste nowadays instead of we are disposing and incurring costs for disposal to the landfill. So we are taking care of the waste and put it someplace for a while to treat microplastics for good use. Then only we sub to project 3 for construction materials as a sustainable reuse.
Maybe I can add on a little bit. So except for fly ash, since fly ash is a byproduct from coal power production, so we are actually looking for alternatives which are maybe palm ash, empty fruit branch ash from the biomass production. So there will be similar properties to produce this membrane. So that is one of the alternatives we are looking at. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, so you are talking about microplastics. So, do you know what is because microplastic may consist of all kind of plastics, right? So, you have any idea what kind of plastics is a major component of this microplastics?
Oh, actually there are, like you say, there are like lots of types of plastics are present in microplastics. So there are a few that is a major one, like polyester, PP, PE, LDPE, these are actually present. But most microplastic types that we found are actually polyesters from our clothes, from synthetic clothing. There's a result from the fast fashion industry, actually. And then, as we intended to try to replace our closet very often, and then all the new clothes are trying to shred from microfibers through our laundry and then into our sewage plant. Then some of them are very fine that they escape the sewage treatment plant. Yes. Did I answer your question?
Right. So, okay, now, the other question probably, because you have been working on the filtration as well as the detection. So microplastic is actually one of the major concern global issue regarding the ocean. So how would you, any of you can answer this question, how would you adapt, or probably you can use this, your finding to be applied in a bigger, in a bigger scale, probably looking at rivers and oceans, because this is a major issue now when microplastics, the oceans, because especially on the ecosystem of the sea. Yeah. So your application, because you are now innovating 2 different, instruments over there.
True, that is why, thank you for the question. For the start, that is why we are taking care of the secondary effluent from the sewage treatment plant, because we get to know first the efficiency of our sensor and whether our filtration device is working clearly or not. Because we are having, say, what Karen said, or what Wan Eun said just now, we have very specific types of microplastics coming from the household, from the shed of the sheds and whatnot. So for the start, this is our stepping stones, I would say, for us to let the sensors working properly, the filtration device working properly, then only we can scale up a little bit more and do for the oceans and whatnot, because we're talking about the oceans, it cross border of nations as well. So there are so many other considerations that need to be taken into. Maybe other members?
Maybe I add on a little bit. So, like you mentioned just now, there are various types of microplastic. So, in my sub-project, actually, one of the objectives is to train the sensor system. So, by collecting samples from the wastewater treatment plant, so I will characterize what microplastic is inside. So, I have the characteristic of the unique properties, then I can train the system so that it enhances the efficiency to detect the microplastic. And for the application, actually our filter and my sensor and the reuse of, we are planning to expand beyond sewage treatment plant. We are actually looking into wastewater from other industries such as plastic industry, which produce plastic. So yeah, in the future, maybe we can apply to the natural environment like rivers and oceans, but it is too fluctuating contradiction in outside, so that would be the further applications. Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Yeah, I would like to add on that about the data that we collected. How are we going to share among the maybe other fields or other industry? So from the sensor part, the sub-project will actually let us know not only the type, but also the amount. It's actually because currently we are only estimating the amount that is actually released, because in our current sewage treatment plant, there is no actually real-time detection for the whole data about how much microplastic are actually released. So once we get the data, we can actually share with other related parties that we can establish more, not only for the engineering part, it also involve the healthcare system, the health science, because in medical industry, medical field, people are still trying to figure out what is really the impact of microplastics to one human and also the aquatic organism. And what is the extent is still unknown. So from there, we have to collect the data first and then share among these few parties. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, judges. And great teamwork, Group 3. So without any delay, so join me in welcoming Team 4 to share their research project. Team 4, the stage is all yours.
Mic testing.
Test.
Hello. Mic testing. 1, 2, 3. Hello. Salam Malaysia, Madani, and a very good afternoon to all esteemed judges, YSN-ASM members, Chrysalis Award finalists, and all participants. My name is Francis Tieng Yew Fu, representing Group 4 File Unity. Today, together with my team members, Chong Iman and Muhammad Sharafi Samsudin, we propose a title, Circulating Tumor Cells, Isolation and Detection, Design, Validation, and Comparison. Did you know that breast cancer is reported to be the most leading cause of death in Malaysia early this year? Isn't this concerning, alarming for all the ladies and your loved one, including your wife, daughters, sisters, and mother? Following this, Yang Berhormat Datuk Seri Nancy, Ministry of Women, Family and Community Development, proposed the We Care campaign to increase awareness about the importance of early detection in cervical and breast cancer. In line with this, our research proposal focuses on breast cancer. Breast cancer is the most prevalent cancer among women worldwide in 2020, with approximately 2.3 million new cases diagnosed. In Malaysia, 1 in every 19 women are at risk. Although current diagnostic approach can help to detect to help detect breast cancer, they are often invasive and involve surgery. Circulating tumor cells, also known as CTC, are cancer cells found in the bloodstream. They provide a non-invasive means to detect cancer cells and also provide direct access to all cancer stages. However, translating CTC into clinical is very challenging due to its rarity in the blood, short half-life ex vivo, technical limitations such as low yield for CTC enrichment, low recovery rates, and unstandardized protocol. To that, cell search is the only and first FDA-approved method to detect CTC. However, it primarily targets epithelial CTC, excluding other characteristics, resulting in a selection bias.
Cancer is a multifactorial. One-size-fits-all approach is not effective. Moreover, there's lack of comprehensive and comparative CTC enrichment study. Next, our proposals propose 3 sub-projects. Sub-project 1 is CTC capture, sub-project 2 is targeted CTC imaging, and sub-project 3 is optimizing, validation, and comparative study.
This proposal is about by using the SMART objective: S for specific, M measurable, A achievable, R relevant, and T time-bound. Hello, my name is Muhammad Sharafi Shamsuddin. I will present about sub-project 1, which is development of functionalized hallow-site nanotube coating for capturing CTC. Hallow-site nanotube or HNT are naturally occurring in the nanoclay with the nanometer dimension. Hallow-site nanotube possesses with the 2 charges, negative charge at the outer surface from the siloxane group and positively charged in the internal surface from aluminum group. And their tubular shape that provide the high surface area make them the ideal to making the ligand attachment. And HNT are effective in ion exchange, and then it's very cost effective because it's easily to access. Sub-project 1 is based on CTC isolation via conjugation with antibody and electrical positive charge on HNT coating. In this sub-project, I have 3 specific objectives and will include it in the 5 phases of methodology. In the phase 1, HNT will be coated on the glass slide by using thermal spray and at the varying HNT concentration. And then in the phase 2, the optimization of HNT coating will be conducted through the appearance of using camera and light transmitter. In this proposal, in this phase, I will work together with women to identify the HNT coating in the best condition. And the third phase, I will answer for the objective 2. HNT coating will be modified with the conjugation of antibody and positive charge using polyethylamine. And then the characterization on HNT coating, HNT material and functional HNT coating will be performed to identify the properties and features. And then lastly, at the phase 5, HNT coating will be do the performance testing using the culture, cell line, and clinical breast cancer. And this phase, I will work together with Francis, including the toxicity analysis. Now, we will pass to women for sub-project 2.
Thank you, Afi. I'm Yatni Chang Women. I'm the member for sub-project 2, European Nanoparticle Bioethic Class, Eco-friendly synthesis and folic acid conjugation for targeted CTC imaging. So, conventional fluorescent material have widely used in the cell imaging. However, they come with the limitations such as toxicity, flow batching and quenching, limited biocompatibility, which is restricted its cell imaging application. To solve this, we propose the bioethic graph dot with the European nanoparticle, which have this type of advantages, such as high safe, bioactivity, and biocompatibility. Rare earth, such as a European, offer consistent fluorescence for cell imaging, and when it exceeds a certain temperature, it can emit intense red emission. Do you know that? In Malaysia, in 2019, there are about 100 tons of clam waste were produced. And all of these end up in the landside field and coastal water, which cause the water pollution. To solve this, Sub Project 2 proposed using the clamshell waste as an alternative source of the calcium oxide, CaO, to produce the bioactive gas because it contains up to 99% of CaO. Moreover, folate receptor, FR, are highly expressed on the cancer cell surface, including breast cancer, but limited to the normal cell. To specifically target the CTC imaging, the bioactive class will conjugate with the folic acid, Fa, to bind to the FR. Next, for the Sub-Project 2, we have the 4 objectives. The objective 1 is to synthesize the European nanoparticle bioactive class. So the clamshell wave will be collected and go through a calcination process in the phase 1. After that, the high purity CaO powder produced will well mix together with the European nanoparticle and other raw material go through a melt and quenching process to form the bioactive glass. After that, this sample will conjugation with the folic acid, which is answer the objective 2 to optimize the formulation of the sample. After that, for the objective 3, the sample will be characterized by using the characterization tools as shown in the figure to analyze the performance of the sample through structural, optical, photoluminescence, and decay properties. And objective 4 is the in vitro test. The sample will be immersed into the in vitro stimulate body fluid SPF to test the bioactivity and biodegradability. After that, the optimal sample will be passed to Sub-Project 3 for the toxicity analysis.
All right, thank you, Iman. My name is Francis Tieng. To recap, Sub-Project 1 focused on CTC capture, followed by CTC detection in Sub-Project 2. Therefore, Sub-Project 3, validation and comparative study, is dedicated to address the challenges of adopting our proposed CTC enrichment method into clinical. Our ultimate goal is to harness the potential of CTC in improving breast cancer diagnostic, prognostic, and treatment selection. There are 6 phases in Sub-Project 3. Phase 1 is a clinical sample collections phase with a standardized PBMC, peripheral blood mononucleated cells isolation and cell culture. Phase 2 answers to objective 1 to determine the extent of cell damage and variability of the CTC capture using the functionalized HNT-coating in Sub-Project 1. Phase 3 answers to objective number 2 to identify the potential toxicity of European nanoparticle dot bioactive glass from Sub-Project 2 towards CTC. Phase 4 is optimization and validation stage where 3 different breast cancer cell lines are spiked, enriched, and stained using antibodies to determine the depletion, capture, and enrichment efficiency. Phase 5 addresses objective number 3 to evaluate a proposed method with 3 different CTC isolation methods, namely cell search based on positive selection, Ramas assay based on negative selection, and Rosacell assay based on immunodensity approach. Phase 6 CTC characterization is performed to identify if each of the CTC isolation method assessed in Phase 5 can determine different CTC subtypes and the presence of folate receptor positive CTC.
Next, we will discuss about the research impact and deliverable of our project. Our project is beneficial to the society because it's improved the health and then it's aligning with SDG 3, and then we address in the health inequality aligning with the SDG 10, and then we will improve the quality of life. For industrial, it promote the innovation and infrastructure with aligning with the SDG 9. And then with advanced healthcare technology, we follow to 1010 and MySCIE frameworks. For the economy, we can reduce the healthcare expenditure to support the Malaysian Cancer Control Program. And for the environmental, we approach by using the shell waste to reduce our waste, aligning with SDG 12. And then for the deliverable, we aim to target to have 3 PhD students, 6 publications, 2 patents, 6 conferences, foster local and international collaboration.
On the other hand, quarterly and annual meeting will be conducted with the stakeholders to update the progress meeting. Moreover, the data of the research will be shared through the Malaysia Open Science Platform and Mandilan data. Besides that, our proposal proposed the overall budget of about 700,000 Malaysian ringgit.
This slide shows the overview milestone of the 3 sub-projects. In year 1, we aim to complete formulation of HNT conjugated coatings and europium nanoparticle doped bioactive glass. In year 2, we aim to complete optimization, validation, and comparative study of our proposed CTC enrichment method with 3 different CTC enrichment methods. In year 3, CTC characterization will be conducted alongside journal publication and patent application. We would like to highlight that we have secured support letters from 4 potential collaborators, namely Dr. Stephen, CEO of Sanali Bio Company, Dr. Khairul Anwar, a medical lecturer from Universiti Putra Malaysia, UPMM, Dr. Sarah, a pathologist and medical lecturer from UPMM, and lastly, Dr. Nur Atika, a medical officer from Hospital Wanita dan Kanak-Kanak Sabah. As we are near to the end of our presentation, we would like to showcase our prototype, which consists of 3 drawers. Drawer 1 represents sub-project 1, CTC capture via functionalized halosite with AppCam or super positive polymer coating. Drawer 2 represents sub-project 2, targeted CTC imaging via europium nanoparticle doped bioactive glass conjugated with folic acid. Whereas sub-project 3, drawer 3, represent the overall comparative study of the 4 CTC enrichment method. We have a take-home message for everyone. Remember, early detection can help prevent risk of breast cancer. With this, we would like to end our presentation. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Team 4. So it's time for question and answer session. So judges, questions for Team 4?
Thank you for Team 4. Sharafi, Waymoon, and Francis, good job. Okay.
Thank you, Prof.
I'm going to ask a pretty general question first. Any one of you can opt to answer this question. Yeah. So you were targeting an early cancer detection, right? And this is by trying to look for the circulating tumor cells, CTCs, which are actually cells which are detached from the primary site.
Yes.
So this is the one that you are going after, right? So I don't know. To my thinking, if these cells are already detached from the primary site and ready to travel, which is going to start metastasis, this is not going to be early detection anymore. It would have progressed to somewhat, right? So can you rationalize this again?
Thank you for the very good question. So, all right. Initially, when CTC are first founded, people always think that, all right, CTC derived from primary tumor, then that should be around stage 3 and stage 4. Since if there's no metastasis, it means that the cells will not detach. However, this is not the case. Previously, we can't identify CTC in the blood in primary tumors due to resolution. There is no technology to identify single cell resolution. But currently, a lot of studies have proved that CTC have already been present in primary breast cancer. There's a slide, sorry. Let me show you the slides. All right, here. So these are the papers justify that right now we have the technology and we know that CTC are already present in primary non-metastatic breast cancer. So the current method, cell search, is very good actually. However, it only targets one antibody marker, that is the positive selection using AppCam. So the outcome is that if we are just targeting one type of CTC and we do a prognosis, isn't there a bias? Because there still are other types of CTC which are found in the blood as supported by other papers. Thank you.
Thank you for the clarification, Francis. I just want to update some knowledge here. Since this is circulating in the blood, okay, it would have changed the profile of the blood itself. Have you ever come across a technology using a nuclear magnetic resonance where everything in the blood can be observed and seen at a very low concentration? So this might also be employed to actually detect CTCs. Okay? So maybe some reading as well, rather than going through a very tedious technology, capture and isolate. But that might be pros and cons, but there are comparative technology available to actually detect this. Okay? Right. Thank you.
Thank you.
First of all, I would like to congratulate because this is a pink month and this is timely for you to propose a kind of project which is actually addressing, the month. And for the excellent presentation. My question is, you use HNT, yeah, for the first place. So why you choose HNT? Because one question. Second question is, do you have any background studies on the biocompatibility of the HNT?
Okay, for HNT, the why I choose HNT is because firstly is HNT there has the uniqueness of HNT because they have possessed with the dual charge. For the outer layer we have the negative charge, and internal layer we have the positive charge. And then HNT is a very cheapest material because it comes from clay, and then it's very easily to access. And then HNT is very good in the ion exchange. Okay, based on the studies, they have proven that HNT conjugated with the agam, conjugated with agam, will manage to capture around 93% of MTF cell. This one for the cell culture within the 3 hours. And then the uses of HNT also for changing of the electricity charges, because of this is HNT is very good in ion exchange, very good for ion exchange. And then they have the study by using the electrical charges, using the silica nanoparticle, they managed to get 92% of MCSL. So I want to use this concept for using electrical charges to this HNT because they are very good in ion exchange. You use the polyethylene with the presence of amino group from polyethylene react with the hydroxy group from the HNT to get the positively charged surface of HNT to capture the negatively charged of the cell cancer. Because from the paper they claim that the cell cancer will have the very unique pattern because from the glycolysis process, this charges is not present in the normal cell. That's why I choose HNT.
Maybe just to add on something. So we try to align with the current goal, which is first, our sub-project 1 focus on HNT, which is actually a naturally occurring nanoclay material. So first we are using resources from the natural, and from sub-project 2, we are actually trying to reduce the waste of chem cell. And by doing this, we are trying to give back to the society, give back to people by trying to use these two technology into detecting CTCs to help prevent breast cancer. Thank you.
Any more questions? Okay, thank you.
We have to ask questions.
Okay.
Yes, a question obviously to women. Is there any alternative other than folic acid, and why you choose folic acid in the first place?
Okay, why I choose folic acid? Because I have studied on the type of the Okay, I have studied another type of the conjugation, the surface, because bioactive glass itself, it can bond to a soft tissue and hard tissue, but it cannot directly bind to the CTC cancer cell. So because the breast cancer in the woman are majorly represent 11.7%, and also the FR alpha should be expressed 86% for the triple negative breast cancer. So that it means that there are 86% of the TBNC, TMBC express the folate receptor FR. So that this is the reason why I choosing the folic acid that modify the surface of the bioglass to bind to the FR, FA bind to FR. This is one of the reasons.
All right, just to add on a little bit. So normally when you target cancer, let's say you are diagnosed with cancer, the doctors will always say, all right, what type of breast cancer, what type of cancer you have. So let's say they determine that, okay, you are HER2 positive. Then they will use this as a marker to target. So we are thinking, since there is no universal CTC marker for breast cancer, and there's a lot of studies showing that actually FR receptors are widely present, especially in TNBC breast cancer patients. So isn't it a possibility, a high possibility that this FR receptor can be the CTC marker for breast cancer? Thank you.
Okay, I have one question. So I would like to know your commercialization plan, because as you can see, you already have engaged with the experts, right, regarding the product itself. So I would like to know what is your target market and whatnot. Yeah.
All right, that is a very good question. So as you see from the slides, we have already have a meeting with several experts, including Dr. Stephen from Sanoli Bio Company, which is the mastermind of Ramat's assay. So he is an expert in CTC isolation. So with this, we are trying to actually pivot the direction of hospital in Malaysia. Instead of using solid biopsy, why not we go for liquid biopsy? So if this road opens out, I don't see no chance of using liquid biopsy. Everyone will be starting to use liquid biopsy. Everyone will start to do research because they know that, all right, CTC detection is readily available and it is possible in Malaysia. Thank you.
Okay, also, I believe it's quite, since it is quite novel, I can say.
I would not say novel, but new, since there are some research papers on HNT, on cell culture lines, but not on clinical samples.
Yeah. So, but in Malaysia, does we have the right people to do it, like the right experts? Do we have many?
Yes.
Or,
all right. So actually, this concept thank you for the very good question and the question that I want to answer for today. So actually, the expert for CTC, and also another thing about CTC is it is possible to do single cell analysis on CTC to develop personalized medicine. So in Malaysia right now, me and my supervisor is the only expert on this. Yeah. So we are the first team to do single cell.
Yeah. So that is my concern. So maybe one thing you can add into your commercialization plan is to do training to widen the knowledge of how to implement the CTC to different private and public hospital.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, judges. Thank you, judges.
Okay, thanks, judges, and well done, Team 4. So let's give a big hand of applause to Team 4. Okay, guys, last but not certainly the least. So let's give a big round of applause to our final team of Chrysalis, Team 5. So your moment to impress as Team 5.
Testing.
Hello everyone. I know it's been a long day. I feel good. And I hope every one of you have enjoyed your high tea. So, can we have everyone to stand up with us, join us to stretch your body?
Come on, everyone.
Everybody.
So let's stretch together for 5 seconds. Like 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1.
Do you feel good?
Yes.
That's very nice to hear. Okay, so today we want you all to feel your body, your bone, which is going to be related to our topic. So thank you, everyone.
Ladies and gentlemen, have you ever or anyone of it that you know suffer from bone fracture? Like hand, legs, your hips. Do you know that the moment you got up from the house today, this morning, you are exposed to risk of bone fracture? And that can happen as easily as cracking a biscuit of hapsack for breakfast. Which is why, Salam Manadi and a very good afternoon to honorary VIPs, judges and fellow YSN members. We from Group 5, I'm Afiq.
I'm Huiran.
And I'm Ziwei.
We'll present on our project, Smart Nano-Coated Biomaterial as an Alternative Bone Implants. Take it away.
Given the rapid growth in aging population, Malaysia is projected to face a 3.5-fold increase in the number of hip fractures from 2018 to 2050. Cases among ages 60 and above is projected to increase from 1.4 million in 2000 to a staggering 3.3 million in 2050, with a current prevalence of 24%. This is expected to cost the country over 530 million in health-related service. In addition to this cost, osteoporosis is underdiagnosed and underrated.
Now let's address what are some of the problems with the current bone implants. The materials that we use are plastic, metal, ceramic, or even composites. Now, some of the problems include they are static, not comfortable, and requires multiple surgical intervention for installation, replacement, or even adjustment. And it is quite costly, and it is made of titanium, and prone to contamination as well.
So waste generation is a serious issue worldwide. Do you know that in Malaysia alone, there are 13 million tons of eggshell and 1.68 million tons of rice husks are just ended up in landfill. And they have no economic value. So instead of doing that, we will repurpose the waste into a more valuable products, and we will reuse the waste to fabricate and synthesize our smart biomaterials. So due to the current limitations and the problems that we have mentioned, we have proposed our solution to all of you by bringing all of you to our each sub-project 1, 2, and 3 by developing our smart waste-derived biomaterials using 4D printing and nano-coating technologies. So sub-project 1, we will create sustainable smart biomaterials by integrating composite hydrogels with waste-derived bioactive glass. So what is smart biomaterials? Smart biomaterials is a class of materials that can interact with the biological system, and it can change their shape and properties with time under appropriate stimuli. Besides, hydrogel is chosen in these projects due to its extracellular matrix in nature, which can support tissue growth, and it can cast into any shape to fill in the irregular bone fractures. Moreover, we will add in the bioactive glass into the hydrogel to make it stronger and more stable. And bioactive glass has osteoinductivity and biocompatibilities which can form a strong bond with the bone and soft tissues, which make it suitable for bones implantations. So for the current conventional biomaterials that widely used, such as metal implants, that can trigger the allergic reaction or toxicity. And given the prevalent rate is around 50% in the general populations, to add on, they might need a second surgery to remove the metal, which is cost
costly and time-consuming. Besides, from polymetric implants, it may induce inflammations after implantation and cause weak mechanical strength over time. So in order to solve the problems, we have 5 objectives to solve that. So the first one, we will synthesize the bioactive glass from waste rye husks and eggshells as a source of silica and calcium. And as you can see, okay, so this too is the waste rye husk and eggshell that we collected, and we have washed it, and after that we will extract the calcium oxide and the silicon dioxide, and the purity is almost 97 to 99%, which can replace the alternative pure chemicals. And next step, we will determine the optimal performance of the bioactive glass formulation through structural and bioactivity properties. And the third and fourth objective, we will evaluate the performance of the different concentrations of the bioactive glass in the composite hydrogel and optimize the bioactive glass composite hydrogel through different analyses. And in this process, gelatin metrachloride is chosen as the hydrogel due to its favorable biological properties and stabilities. And lastly, we will develop the composite hydrogel with shape memory abilities with different synthetic polymers at the beginning stage of studies. And the shape memory ability we will determine by seeing their shape and recovery ratios.
Thank you, Ziwei. So in order to incorporate smart biomaterial from sub-project 1, we have also incorporated 4D printing technology in sub-project 2. So what is 4D printing? 4D printing is an emerging technology that builds on 3D printing by adding the dimension of time. It involves creating objects that can transform, change shape, or self-assemble over time. So you might be thinking, what is so different compared to 3D printing? Actually, 4D printing is the combination of 3D printer and smart biomaterial. 3D printing prints material that cannot move, but 4D printing prints material that can move. But okay, it's a material. Materials are non-limiting, so how can they move? So these materials require stimulation such as temperature, light, or enzyme. So let's say we print a bone scaffold at room temperature. Then we place this material at a lower temperature to shrink its size. Then we can place this material into the bone fractures. And then we allow this material to react to the body temperature, and it will expand back to fit nicely within the bone scaffold. Traditional implants or prosthetic often require multiple surgical intervention for installation, adjustment, and which can be physically and emotionally taxing for patients. In contrast, 4D printed material can adjust and adapt to body's changing needs. 4D printed bone scaffold can be designed to change its shape and functionally over time. 4D printing have various printing methods. The most common printing methods that are used in bone scaffold, which are field deposition modeling, selective laser sintering, and also direct ink writing. In order to successfully implement 4D printing, careful selection of operational condition and process parameter is very important, taking into account factors such as nozzle size, layer thickness, printing speed, and the intended final application.
Thank you, Lim. So, right after we were able to print the 4D scaffold, it is time to use quercetin as a nano-coating agent in preventing Staphylococcus aureus infection on the 4D scaffold. You see, the current problem that we have is the occurrence of wear and tear that occurs to the bone implant after its usage over the years. And also, there is a risk of Staphylococcus aureus infection in the bone implants among the patients. So, what is nanocoating? It's basically a process of putting a coat of protection at nanometer scale to the surface of an object. Take an example. If you have a house and then you paint it with bright colors to protect from the direct heat of the sun and also rainy weathers. So why quercetin of all things? First, it has many health benefits such as antioxidative, antimicrobial, and anti-inflammation. And not just that, it is also can be harvested from the dry husk waste like my friend has mentioned. So, our objective is to determine the inhibitory action and the cytotoxic assay of quercetin on Staphylococcus aureus virulence in osteoblast cell line. First, we will test quercetin on osteoblast cell line to see either it has effects on the cell viability. Next, we will test again quercetin to see if it has effects on preventing the Staphylococcus aureus infection. Next step, we will try to compare in between the 4D scaffold that we have printed in compare with a titanium bone implant that is available in the market through a process called passivation. Passivation process is basically like a process in the industry by adding nitric acid to prevent the corrosion on the surface of the object. Next, we will assess aminoselenization process in between both of the 4D scaffold and the titanium disc. What is aminoselenization? Take it as a process to smoothen the rough edges on both of the printed 4D scaffold and the titanium disc. And after we have completed all of the mentioned objective, we will develop quercetin as a nanocoating agent through a process called deep coating. Simply, like filling this beaker with the in solution, we then dip the 4D scaffold as well as and also the titanium disc and see which one provide the best out of the two.
In recent years, there have been notable achievements. Researchers have applied 4D printing and smart biomaterials to create tailored structures for bone implants. Additionally, another study involved the fabrication of cartilage tissue using specialized bioink, which consists of human cells embedded in a hydrogel sensitive to swelling. This opens up exciting possibility for customized medical solutions. Next, to realize our project, we hope to have 3 PhD students and publish our studies in journal articles and file 3 intellectual properties, and hopefully we can collaborate with medical industries and clinicians. Next, here is a budget breakdown of each of our sub-projects.
So the impact of the projects includes 4 aspects. For the first one is the economy. Our project will create job opportunities and diversifications, and also we promote sustainable production and save costs. And it is fulfill the sustainable development goal of 8 and 12. In terms of environment aspects, our project lead to a cleaner environment through waste sustainabilities and provide a healthier society. And this fulfills the SDG 13 and 15.
Not just that, in terms of social aspect, we are improving healthcare quality and easing the healthcare burden of our nation. And this will ultimately enhance patient life, which is aligned with SDG 3. And last but not least, it will align with our national policy and agenda of the 10-10 My ISTIE framework with, in regards with the science and technology that emphasize on 4D and 5D printing and utilization of waste. And also, the socio-economic driver, which relates to the better healthcare and also utilization of resources. And here's some of our references. So, that is all from us. We would like to acknowledge all the YSN and ASM members, Chrysalis committee members, our fellow mentors, beloved teammates, and fellow audience.
Okay,
and remember, smart back, strong bone, and bright smile is the way. Thank you.
Thank you, Team 5. So judges, it's time for question and answer.
Thank you, Afiq, Ziwe, and Puran. Okay. I think it's a very interesting project, but it needs few clarification. You were trying to somehow things split up in my mind. At one point you were talking about implants, okay, the use of titanium to reinforce and everything, but at a certain point you were talking about repairing fracture by injecting smart biomaterials, right? So I think there is a discrepancy about that, so you need to be a bit more focused and clear on what you really want to do. Okay, that's one comment. I think you can respond to that later. But another comment that I would like to make here is I'm always very worried when I see quercetin being used as bioactive compound. Okay. Yes, you have quoted that quercetin has anti-inflammatory or antibacterial, what else? But you know that quercetin is actually a compound that is regarded as paints. That means that it will be positive in most bioactivity assays. So the information that you get from the literature is not quite correct. So you need to dig into the chemistry of the compound that you're going to choose as your bioactive compounds to be used in this case. So I think that also needs to be clarified. So those are my two comments. Yeah.
Thank you, Prof. Well, regarding the quercetin, we only assess its effect in combating the Staphylococcus aureus infection and also perhaps elevating the cases of inflammation in some patients in which they receive bone implants and they suffer inflammation for 2 to 6 weeks. And that is it. But now we are using the quercetin at what we call a high grade in terms of HPLC testing. It's already been tested lah. And the first question was how quercetin implants. So the main idea was to use the 4D scaffold implant as a replacement to the current titanium bone implant. So I will have my teammates to add on that.
So actually, 4D printing have many opportunities, and it's not only just bone fractures, or also it can be actually bone fractures and implant is like sometimes when it fracture and we cannot place, there's an empty hole there. So the current 3D printing methods, they only can print static material. So, and the shape is irregular. So, but in 4D printing, we can print it smaller size and we insert into this empty space, and then it reacts to the body temperature, then it will expand to fit nicely within these bone fractures. So besides bone fracture, also sometimes 4D printing prints in solid material, but besides that, our final product not only come in shape, sometimes it can also come in powder form. And when it insert, like for osteoporosis, because of their bone porosity, right? So when we put the powder in, it can also fill up the gap in some way, which require more research on this. And also,
and I would like to add on, Prof. Regarding to the bone fractures, right? And if let's say during accident, except for osteoporosis, like accident, if get the bone fractures and the fractures, the defect size is like more than 50% or more than 1 to 2 cm. Actually, our bone will not heal itself. That's why we need our scaffold like that can change the shape with time and also fill the irregular shapes to heal and let the bone to implant in the bone fracture sites so that it can heal. Yes.
I do not know who to address the question to, but I kind of ask how you're going to address the issues of hydrogel and bioactive glass if they are, of course, by itself is, I would say, have low mechanical strength. Plus, if you put it in our body, with the change of pH level, acidosis can happen and would actually lower down the strength, plus it could swell. So it just become deformed against the purpose of your objective for your project.
So in my project for the hydrogel, actually I'm using the gelatin methacrylate. So actually gelatin methacrylate is actually already like very stable and bioactive and biocompatibility properties which can already for implantations. Somehow actually it's not smart biomaterial. That's why we will implement by mixing with the synthetic polymer later on. And also when we want to add on the bioactive glass, since bioactive glass actually is bioactive, because from one of the objectives we will determine the formulations to make sure that it has the highest hardness for bioactive glass, actually there are 4 components like silica, calcium, sodium, and phosphorus pentoxides. And actually we will add in some of the other chemicals such as maybe alumina to add in to improve the mechanical strength. So once we got the optimal properties for the bioactive glass with better performance and high mechanical strength, and we will integrate into the hydrogel. So when the hydrogel composite implant into the body, regarding to the degradations, right? For natural polymer, actually it can degrade slowly with time, and it will not cause inflammations. And when we added in the bioactive glass, at the same time, actually it can make it more stronger because the polymer change with the bioactive glass particles that enforce together. So actually the mechanical strength will be better as compared to the bioactive glass and hydrogels alone. So from my part, I cannot guarantee, but I think we can find the optimal properties for that, to solve the mechanicals and degradation and other properties problem from the objective part.
Sir, if I may add on that. So for example, if you put titanium bone right here, the surrounding part will take time to adjust to the current condition. And this somehow will affect the other bones surrounding the implant, which makes them weaker to what they are usually be. So when we have something that could respond to the stimulus surrounding them, it could potentially solve this issue amongst the patients.
Just one clarification from me. Just for project number 2, right? In terms of your 4D printing, can you explain what the differences with the works that you actually reported just now? I mean, what do you plan to do in project 2 compared to those papers that you shared just now in terms of project 2 4D printing?
So for regarding the question, actually 4D printing, so there are different printing methods, and like we have filament deposition modeling and direct selective laser sintering. So their difference is like one is using filament and the others using powder, and this is using direct ink. So what to do in sub project, actually we want to optimize all these mechanical like nozzle size, layer thickness, printing speed, because all these factors will affect the printed object, the final, like their mechanical property, their structures. All these are very important for how the object would react. And also for the question like pH, enzyme, those are also very important factor, because this stimulus temperature is just a very basic factor only. So the human body is also very complex and also reacts to pH and enzyme. So these are also very important factor that needs to be researched and optimized. And like I said, also the intended final application is also very important, whether is it this place or the other place. So all of these need to be optimized. So 4D printing is really something very new and needs more and more optimization. And I also believe with the coming of AI can also assist to optimize this 4D printing technology faster and also helps to implement 4D printing into the industry. Thank you.
Thank you, judges, and well done, Group 5. And then let's give a big round of applause to Group number 5. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let's give another round of big applause to all our phenomenal Chrysalis teams for their exceptional presentation and hard work.
Okay, good afternoon and Salam Malaysia Madani. Yang berhormat Tuan Chang Kang, Minister of Science, Technology and Innovation MOSTI. Yang berbahagia Datuk Teknologi Dr. Haji Aminuddin Hashim, Secretary General of MOSTI. Yang Mulia Academician Datuk Dr. Tengku Muhammad Azman Sharifuddin, FSC, President of Academy Science Malaysia, also serve as Science Technology Innovation Advisor of Prime Minister and the Nation. Yang berusaha Puan Hazmi Habib, Chief CEO of ASM. Yang berusaha Associate Professor Dr. Nur Fadlina Muhammad Sharif, Chairperson of YSN-ASM. Distinguished ASM Fellow, YSM members and athletes, Chrysalis Award finalists, media representative, esteemed guests, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Silkit and I am your MC today for the 2023 YSN-ASM Chrysalis Award prize giving ceremony. First, we would like to invite Dr. Q Sina, Chair of Science Leadership Working Group, to tell us a bit more about the Chrysalis Award.
Hi, good morning everyone and Salam Malaysia Madini. I'm Sina from Chair of the Science Leadership Working Group. So let me briefly introduce you about the Chrysalis Award. Actually, Chrysalis Award carries significant symbolism within its name. The term chrysalis signifies the transformative pupil stage in the life cycle of a butterfly. Our purpose is to identify and nurture promising PhD candidates comprehensively and grooming them into the future pillars of our science, technology, innovation, and economic ecosystem. We envision these finalists evolving into resilient, creative, and resourceful butterflies later on. So at the start of the year 2023, we received a significant number of the applications, and only the top 15 finalists were chosen from the final year PhD student in Malaysia to participate in our Chrysalis Award in 2023. So starting in April 2023, these Chrysalis finalists participated in a series of 10 training workshops by experts in the field. And then we divided them into a group of 3 to work together on their area. And then they did their pitching yesterday. We were thrilled and excited yesterday to listen their presentation on their creative, innovative, and impactful multidisciplinary project ideas spanning 3 different research areas. So these innovative project ideas, by aligning with the national priorities, were successfully developed by 5 groups. And each group was actually assigned with 2 mentors, one from academic and another one from industrial. So throughout the year, we observed their hard work, dedication, and sacrifice made by them. And today, we honor them, we celebrate their determination, creativity, belief, commitment, teamwork demonstrated throughout the Chrysalis Award program. So with this, we have prepared a video montage capturing all the moments from their Chrysalis journey. So without wasting the time, please enjoy watching this video, and thank you very much for those who contributed and involved in this program. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Kusina, and thanks to the ASM video production team for the video recap. Next, I would like to invite Yang Berhormat Tuan Chang Kang to give an address.
Thank you very much. After seeing so many butterflies, I have butterflies in my stomach now. Yang berbahagia Datuk Teknologis Dr. Haji Aminuddin, Secretary General of MOSTI, Yang Mulia Datuk Dr. Tengku Azman, President of ASM, Yang Berusaha Puan Hazami, CEO of ASM. Salam sejahtera, salam Malaysia Madani. Pertama sekali saya amat berbesar hati untuk berada bersama dengan para saintis muda dalam sesi dialog pada hari ini dan menerusi kolokium ini. Mesti percaya jaringan saintis muda dapat diperkukuhkan lagi dan membolehkan saintis muda berganding bahu menawarkan jalan penyelesaian bagi cabaran yang sedang dihadapi negara seperti soal keterjaminan makanan, perubahan iklim serta bakat STEM. Distinguished scientists, ladies and gentlemen, Science, Technology and Innovation (STI) is a key driver of socio-economic advancement. ASM, as a thought leader, has continuously put forward relevant inputs and solutions for challenges faced by the nation and society. The Young Scientist Network, YSN-ASM, as part of the ASM Expert Network, have a very important responsibility to translate knowledge and into solutions on the ground. Currently, 87.5% of researchers in Malaysia serve in higher learning institutions and public research institutes. However, to strengthen the STIE ecosystem of our nation, we need to increase the percentage of researchers in the industry. Taking the example of Thailand and Singapore, which have more than 50% of their researchers in industry sectors. Hence, I wish to challenge YSN-ASM to not only actively contribute, but also go further to serve the industry by initiating startup and spin-off companies, as well as mentor the next generation of young scientists to become researchers in the industry. Based on our dialogue session just now, I have very high expectations for our young scientists to become change makers through contributions in areas of emerging technology like sensor technology, advanced intelligence system, and augmented analytics. The roles of YSN-ASM, especially in carrying out mission-oriented projects involving emerging technologies, are very crucial. I hope this can be seen in key socio-economic drivers of the 1010 My STIE, such as smart technology and system, cities and transportation, agriculture and forestry, environment and biodiversity, and others. Hence, young scientists must be ready to face complexity, chaos, and contradictions towards post-normal science and to be agile in adapting these emerging technologies and integrates knowledge from various fields. Therefore, I wish to see the gathering of young minds like this spark meaningful discussion and catalyze national-level projects that will continue to enhance the STIE ecosystem of the country. MOSTI, through its mission of spearheading STI to address national challenges for societal well-being and sustainable development, provides a few funding schemes, such as a Strategic Research Fund, SRF, and Malaysia Grand Challenge, MGC, that young scientists can apply. MOSTI has also established the Researcher Industry Scientific Exchange, RISE, which is a platform that connects experts in solving industry's problems through research, consultation, training, and technology transfer. MOSTI has also ensured representations of the young scientists in the National Science Council, NSC, by having the chair of YSN-ASM as a member of the NSC. This will feasibly enhance the opportunity to reset the STIE agenda of our country and induce a vibrant scientific culture among scientists. Ladies and gentlemen, MOSTI wants to draw inspiration from the examples mentioned to support and elevate the impactful movement of young scientists in Malaysia. Young scientists hold immense importance for Malaysia. Currently, 30.8% of the researchers in Malaysia are young scientists. You are the key drivers to unlock new frontiers of innovation. A dialogue session with scientists of YSN-ASM can dovetail the needs of having captivating minds, foster curiosity, and inspire the next generation of creative thinkers and problem solvers who will shape the future. I'm also delighted to know that through the YSN-ASM Chrysalis Award, talented and promising researchers amongst final year PhD students are mentored to adopt a responsive, adaptive, and collaborative mindset towards providing solutions from a science, technology, innovation, and economic STIE perspective. Through Malaysia's Startup Ecosystem Roadmap, SUPER, MOSTI would like to see excellent research ideas translate into commercialization and follow through the pathway to set up high-tech startups. This roadmap will chart the path to transform Malaysia into a top 20 global startup ecosystem by 2030 and to generate 5,000 startups, including 5 startups with unicorn status by 2025. I believe this will strengthen the linkage of STI with economy, as well as enhance the translation of knowledge into the development of innovative products, technologies, and services. First, MOSTI would like to see the involvement and support of entities such as Cradle and Meranti on this initiative. In fulfilling the aspirations of becoming an STI-based country, YSN-ASM should inspire other young scientists to become futurists on emerging technologies. You are the next generation of scientists who will transform our country's economies and societies. I would also like to see YSN-ASM further strengthened as an avenue to establish strong networks and collaboration with international institutions, harnessing their expertise and knowledge to propel our STIE ecosystem. This will further elevate the visibility and impact of young scientists. Ladies and gentlemen, last but not least, congratulations to the exceptional individuals and team who will be awarded the Chrysalis Award prizes after this. May these recognitions inspire you to achieve even greater discovery, to inspire others to embark on their own journey of invention and innovation. MOSTI through ASM is committed to see the YSN-ASM grow as an impactful network and Chrysalis Award to grow into a dynamic initiative that promotes the advancement of STIE. Thank you.
Thank you, YB, for your inspiring words. May I ask you to remain on the stage for the prize giving ceremony? Can I also invite Dato' Aminuddin to be present on stage as well? Dato' Tengku. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this is the time that we are all waiting for, especially the 15 over there. Okay, in total, there are 6 prizes. For the Best Poster Award, the winner is Group 4, Circulating, Tumor Cell Isolation and Detection, Design, Validation and Comparison. The members are Sharafi, Francis Tieng Yew Fu, and Chong Wei Man. Okay, thank you very much. Next up is the Best Presenter Award, voted unanimously by all 5 pitching judges. We congratulate Mio Muhammad Hafiz Shabuddin from USM. Thank you very much. Congratulations. So for the next award is the Best Research Idea Award, evaluated based on the research proposal and their pitching performances. We have Group 2 as a winner. The research title is Transforming Pineapple Waste into Sustainable Biomethanol Energy for Planetary Health. The members are Muhammad Shazwan Zainal, Chu Pei Hsia, and Chan Jia Xin. Congratulations, and we would like to thank the mentors as well for their contribution towards this research proposal. Congratulations, Group 2, well deserved. Next up, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to honor the top 3 individuals for 2023 YSN-ASM Chrysalis Award. They are evaluated based on their performances during workshops, pitching on their research proposal, and also peer rating. Third place goes to Chan Jia Xin from UTM. Congratulations, Jiaxin. For second place, we have from UPM, Chu Pei Hsia. Congratulations, Pei Hsia. So now, the top honor for 2023 YSN-ASM Chrysalis Award, Francis Tieng Yew Fu from UKM. the Chrysalis finalists to be on stage to take a group photo. Can we have a round of applause for all the finalists, for all their hard work and achievement? Okay, thank you everyone. Please be seated. YP? Yeah. We would like to record our utmost thanks to MOSTI, ASM, YSN-ASM, and all other parties for your continuous support for the Chrysalis Award. And we hope to have the same support for many years to come. Chrysalis, on behalf of the organizing committee, I just want to tell you that we are very proud of your achievement. We can clearly see your growth throughout the Chrysalis journey. Continue to stay humble, embrace diversity, because we are sure that you will emerge victorious on the other side. That is our entrustment to you. Thank you. So with that, this marks the end of the 2023 YSN-ASM Chrysalis Award prize giving ceremony. Thank you very much.